Hello everyone, how's everybody doing today? It's Sunday, February 28th, 2021. Today I just wanted to talk about crypto, very related to the economy and what's going on. So I wanted to cover that. It looks like, as you can see here, Bitcoin's down 24%. The last 7 days and the last 24 hours, we're down 6% here. Ethereum's following suit. Um, these are almost identical charts from what the price of Bitcoin to what price of Ethereum is doing. Obviously, you can see Tether, that basically is tied to the US dollar. USD coin tied to the US dollar. So a lot of these other cryptos are following suit. A lot of prices down across the board. Got SV down 7%, Crypto.com 14%, 19% here. But a lot of these coins are all following suit, so a sea of red today. And you can see that as one or two ways. Some people will be like, oh, it's all fear, it's all a bubble, the bubble's burst, everybody sell, 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 everybody get out. And by no means is this any financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. But other people may see this as an opportunity to buy back in. But as I'm seeing here over the past 7 days, things are continuing to fall across the board. And I don't know if we're going to continue to see this. So, this happened to us in the past. I mean, last time when Bitcoin went to $20,000, it came crashing back down to all the way down to what, $4,000. So I've seen this happen before in the past. I have a feeling other markets are going to do the same thing. I have a feeling the stock market is going to burst too, and the housing market and everything like that as well. People just pumping in these inflated dollars, and they rushed this thing all the way up here, up to, it was at 53,000, I believe. Let's take a look over here. Let's see for the all-time high. It was all the way up to $58,000 for one Bitcoin. So, and that was not too long ago. Just 7 days ago, folks. Just 7 days ago. So as you can see, that's quite a decline in 7 days. I'm talking $15,000 decline in 7 days. So it seems like a lot of these big companies that were investing in the Bitcoin have dumped large amounts. I have a feeling that the Chinese are probably at play with this too. And one way to really tell, if you live in the United States, you go to bed, everything's going good, all the numbers are up. You wake up the next day and, oh look, everything's red. That means there's some big whales, some big time holders out there that are dumping large amounts of coin. You know, this isn't the small individual that's got 0.01 Bitcoin or something. These are the big whales dumping it all at once and not taking their money and run. Seems like what's going on here. Now, our government likes to label these as digital assets. Now, I kind of look at it as, let's see, you're exchanging the dollar for, the Canadian dollar, or for the British pound, or for the yen, or anything like that. You're exchanging that to that currency. So if we looked at it that way, how much is this currency worth compared to the dollar? How much is it worth across the board? Obviously, all these prices here are in US dollars. Okay, Brave ad, go away. But if you haven't heard about Brave is basically just a browser that you can use, and if you view the ads, they actually pay you to a wallet. You can basically do whatever you want with those coins. There's a verification process for that as well. And most of the major exchanges do have a verification process. When the government stepped in and started regulating things like that, they wanted to more or less keep tabs on the markets. and you can see that as a good thing or a bad thing. Government intervention, may have given it a security where people are thinking, oh, okay, the government sees this as legit now. But on the other hand, when the government gets involved in anything, there are those issues with that. I'd just like to add over here, so you see the Bitcoin dominance is 61% of the market, which means all the coins, complete value is listed there, 1.3 trillion, and 61% of that is Bitcoin alone. Now, do I think that Bitcoin is going to be the top currency in the future? Probably not. Look at it like a way to store value. It's people call it digital gold and things like that, but I think a lot of these other tokens have the ability, a lot of these other currencies and technologies have the ability to surpass Bitcoin, especially something like a Cardano or an Ethereum. Ethereum's a mineable currency as well. But I still think that Ethereum may be a bit undervalued. If you look at the total supply here, 114 million as opposed to 18 million. So if you were to do the division on that, obviously you would think that Ethereum, being, what is that, one seventh the amount, that it would be at a much higher value than it currently is. Also, that Bitcoin came out 2009, so a lot of these newer technologies are actually more advanced. The transactions are faster, the fees are lower than Bitcoin itself. A lot of things to look at. Monero is a privacy coin, 208, and the supply of Monero is very low also, so Monero may be another one that's a little bit undervalued here. But something to always consider is the scarcity. When you purchase any crypto, it'll tell you right here what the amount of it is, and if there's going to be more coins in the future, or if that's the maximum supply. So, let's take Cosmos for instance here. That's the circulating supply, and this is the total supply. So this is the amount that they can cap out at in the future, and this is what's currently going on, what's currently being held, what's currently out there. So always look at the scarcity as something. If there's billions and trillions of the coin, like a Dogecoin, okay, so this was hugely pumped and dumped, everybody bought it all at once, drove the price up. I can remember when the Dogecoin was a fraction of a penny. Now it's sitting at 4 cents. I think they pumped this thing up to what, 10, 20 cents at one point. Check that out real quick. All time 8 cents. Alright, so they pumped that up to 8 cents. As you can see, in the past 3 weeks it fell 45%. So just a whole bunch of people coming together buying the coin pumped it all the way up to double what's at right now. But you look at the all-time low. This was a fraction of a penny. So some people got very rich off of this as well. You see these huge spikes in the numbers here, huge spikes. And it was meant to be a meme coin. It was never meant to be a huge technology. It was basically a meme coin. But I've also seen some DeFi tokens do very well here with Aave. Aave was doing really well for a while, but it's been affected by this downturn as well. There's another one in here. It's called Compound. Compound was doing really well too. Right there's a low max supply of Compound, so there again, its scarcity is a lot higher than some of these other tokens on the market. But these flip-flop positions all the time. A lot of people play into the long shot coins. If you look up here, it says there's 8,000 different currencies, but if one has something that's worth a fraction of a penny, and it goes up, it goes to the moon, might be a good time to consider cashing it out. But you gotta be careful. Some of these are just pump and dumps. Not so much in the top 50, but a lot of these other coins outside the top 50 are, they're long shots. definitely long shot coins. Zcash was a top 25 for a while, but obviously it's fallen down here. Low max supply. Zcash is only same as Bitcoin. The max supply 21 million. Mineable coin as well for anybody out there that likes to do some mining. Be aware of those high ticket ASIC miners as well. Those are always based on what the current profitability is of the miner. Those are subject to change at any time. So if one rushes out and buys a $5, $8, $10,000 miner, they're not guaranteed anything that they're going to make that money back. If the difficulty goes up, if the price of the coin goes down, it's very volatile. It is very risky. If one is considering an ASIC miner, GPU mining has a lot of different algorithms one can mine on that. Profitability there again changes. Well, it could be up to $30 off Ethereum, and then one day or $10. I mean, the profit's always going to go up and down depending on the difficulty, the amount of miners on the network, and the price of the coin itself. So if we could get some people in the comments to leave their opinion on what the market is going to be doing. Are we entering a bear market? Is the bull market going to continue? Are people going to be making money hand over fist? Or are they going to be losing a big chunk of their investment? Let me know down in the comment section below. Always like to hear what other people have to say. Me personally, I think we're going to a bubble that's bursting here on a lot of things. Government's making a lot of money out of thin air, and people need somewhere to put it. So they throw it into stocks, they throw it into cryptos. Some things are extremely overvalued. I believe there was an article on Tesla, and even Elon Musk said he doesn't believe that his company is worth what people think it's worth, so that this stock is actually worth much more than it should be valued at. So if he's coming out and he's the head of the company and he's saying something like that, might raise a red flag, might be something to think about. I'm wondering if Crypto.com coin Crow here is going to do what Binance coin did, bounce all the way up here to number 5. That's an exchange token, something that if you're on any of the exchanges, Crow is Crypto.com is an exchange. There's a couple other exchange tokens on here. There's a Binance USD. You're in finance. Is that a DeFi token? I believe. I've heard some rumors about Raven Coin possibly going on Coinbase soon, so there might be a jump in this price at some point. Again, depending on the market, but a lot of people that are new to crypto, they get on Coinbase and they buy coins based on what Coinbase has for sale. Some of those are, top tier coins. Others of them, they've just gotten the approval and the request and done all the paperwork and filed with them and everything like that. So again, be careful. Here's the basic attention token. That is tied to the Brave browser. So anybody interested in making a few extra bucks off of their regular web browser, it's a great privacy browser to use. It actually stops a lot of the pop-ups and spam you get on like your Google or your Edge or anything like that. I used to be a big fan of Firefox. It was similar, but when I heard about the Brave browser, I've been using that ever since. You can use that on a phone, a PC, anything like that. So I definitely recommend that. You basically just get tokens for viewing ads. And it's stopping you from getting all the ads from these other companies. They've got their own ad service where people can promote through the Brave browser. So definitely something to consider, something to download. Scrolling through here. 1inch is another exchange token. It's been doing very well, but as you can see, in the last week it's down 30% also. So 1inch did their own coin on their exchange that they created. So some of these I don't have a lot of faith in, but Zen has been popular for a while. Can be mined with ASIC machine. It's got the same algorithm as Zcash and Pirate Coin. A lot of people haven't heard of the Pirate Coin, ARRR. It's another privacy token that's built on top of the Komodo blockchain. Komodo blockchain was pretty strong for a while, but you haven't heard much about Komodo recently. If one has a graphics card that's below 6 or 8 gigs, um, I'd recommend mining Ethereum Classic. It's been pretty stable. Obviously, it was a little bit higher before this big turn of red here, but it usually hovers between $5 and $10, which isn't a lot, but over time one can make some cash mining Ethereum Classic, GPU mineable. And there's some of these other tokens that I've mentioned. You can actually earn percentage based on holding the coin. So like Cardano, for instance, will pay you 4 or 5% just to hold the coin. So let's say you put it in there for 30 days, you're going to be able to claim a reward. USD coin's very low, and it's like a percent, less than a percent, almost like a bank account. Um, it's like 0.15 or something like that. It's really low. But some of these other currencies, just for holding the coin, you can actually create more coin. Cosmos is like that, ATOM. They will reward you every month based on you being a holder of the coin. That's basically known as like proof of stake. So a proof of stake token is based on the fact that you own the coin and they are rewarding you for keeping it. So Tezos, I do believe, has APY as well. So it's like a yield, like a dividend. A stock would get you a dividend. This very similar setup on some of these coins. Neo pays out in gas. Neo Gas, if you're not familiar with that, it is a token underneath Neo that pays based on holding it and exchanges that are taking place on the network. Dash for a while, it's really big in South America for a while. A lot of people were using it down there. It's really fast. The name Dash came from digital cash. So just a little background on some of these coins here that I've experienced and I've done some research on. Polkadot's in the running. They're basically trying to take out Ethereum. So let's see if that ever happens. Obviously, there's a lot more Polkadot tokens than Ethereum, so the scarcity of Ethereum is much higher. But these numbers here basically show me that everything was overvalued, everybody was pumping money into it, and the market can be determined whether the market is running on fear or running on greed. And I was looking at the chart there. It looked like everybody was more towards greed, that they believed the market was based on greed. So everybody was buying and buying and buying and buying in, and as a result of that, some of these major investors, here we go again, so if you were to click on this, you could receive some Brave, but for the purpose of this video, we're going to close that out. And it seems like a lot of people are dumping it. I mean, there's also ways to track these. Go on the Block Explorer, look at the transactions. If you see some major transactions of like 300, 500 Bitcoin at a time going out, you can see that that's one investor or one company cashing out large amounts at one time. I think that the market right now is very volatile, and if one was able to cash out at 50,000 on the Bitcoin, that they got out at the right time. I mean, there are some people out there that say, oh, Bitcoin's going to 100,000, 150,000, but you gotta be careful who you take your advice from. Some of those people might be paid to lie to you. Some of those people may be out there for their own benefit, or, I mean, let's say, for instance, if anybody watches the mainstream media, and they're doing a show about stocks or anything like that, be very leery of trusting those people. I basically think they're paid liars. When they say buy, I'd sell, and when they say sell, I would buy. Those people, I think, are just paid to lie to you. So I would not take any financial advice from the mainstream media or any of the CSNBC or NBC or ABC or any of that crap. I would not put any of my trust into what they told me to do. Um, and that ties pretty much across the board. Not a big believer in the propaganda machine that's out there, telling everybody how to invest and telling everybody how to live their life, obviously. So crypto, it's a very interesting market, something to consider for anybody out there looking to invest or looking to try to make some money. It is a good outlet to do that, whether through mining or through investing. The opportunity is there, but always be aware that it's risk like anything else. Like a stock is a risk. Putting money into something doesn't always yield a return. It might get a huge loss, might get a huge gain. It's very unpredictable. A lot of people like to find things within a chart. So let's say, for example, the historical data, okay, it ended up way up here. But when you look at all time, well, let's go. Okay, let me view the all time here. Okay. So when they see these huge spikes, this follows by a collapse. They see a spike, it goes down and collapse. They see a spike, collapse, spike and collapse. I mean, the thing never goes to infinity. Okay. It's not like all of a sudden, okay, this is going to go up and up and up and up forever. I mean, that'd be the hyperinflation, massive inflation. If the coin were just to go up and up and up to infinity, I mean, that wouldn't make much sense. Now, one could see that as a small market correction, and that we'll be here for a while. Other people may say, oh, it's a dip and another dip, and oh, I gotta get out. So as you can see here, there's a dip, another dip, and then went way down in value, 8,000, and we dipped again. Okay, all the way down to 3,000. So that's what I was talking about earlier in the video. Essentially went from close to $20,000 over here in 2017 all the way down to 4,000, 3,000. So this hovered high, not too long. It didn't stay high forever. That's what people don't always consider. The same thing here. I mean, we're way up at over 50,000. We've already had a $15,000 dip from the all-time high. How much is the correction going to be here? So that was a huge decline. $16,000 the coin lost. And here again, $15,000 the coin lost. Now, is this the bottom? Is it going to come back up from here? I mean, nobody really knows. Take your best guess. But I would definitely be cautious at this point. I wouldn't go to the point of fearful, but I would be very cautious at this point, because we could see this drop all the way down here in the next week, 2 weeks, a month. Really hard to predict the future. You don't have a crystal ball or anything, but just something to be careful when you're looking at these numbers. If we look at, like, say, the last 3 months, there's been some big dips in the last 3 months too. Like, so this was at 41,000 down to 32. I'm talking about thousands of dollars in losses basically overnight, within a day or two's time. So that leads me to believe that it's still a very volatile market, and some of the major players can control it and regulate it, or they can influence it with large sums. I'm talking hundreds of thousands and the millions of dollars. And unless one has that kind of money to throw around, it's harder to manipulate that kind of market. So, I mean, if you're a multimillionaire, have at it. But for the average investor, I proceed with caution at this point. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. You do what you want. It's your money. But I do see some warning signs here on this chart that lead me to believe that we could be heading down the slopes again here. Again, leave your comments down below. I appreciate you watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Let me know if you like my traditional content that I'm used to doing about the world, or if you like these crypto videos. Kind of base it on that, of what I'm going to go do more of on the channel. So again, everybody have a great day. Thanks for watching.